Life never promised you a road without storms. It only gave you the chance to decide who you become while walking through them. A smile doesn't erase the weight. It reminds the weight that it doesn't own you. Nobody talks about what actually happens inside a storm. Not the metaphorical kind people write quotes about, the real one. The version where the sky doesn't ask permission before it falls apart. Where the ground gives way exactly when someone needed it solid the most. Here's the part almost nobody says out loud. The storm was never optional. Not for the calm ones, not for the strong ones, not for the ones who seem to have it all figured out. Everyone gets a storm eventually. The only real variable is what a person decides to become while standing inside it. Most people believe strength means the absence of struggle, that somewhere out there exists a version of life without weight, without loss, without the quiet 3 a.m. ache that has no name. That version doesn't exist. It was never on offer. The offer was always something else. Not a storm-free life, but a choice, made over and over, of who to be while the storm is happening. That's the part that gets missed. People wait for the weight to lift before they let themselves smile again. But a smile was never meant to be proof that the weight is gone. It isn't a lie, and it isn't denial. A real smile, the kind that survives a storm, isn't the absence of pain. It's a quiet refusal. It's the weight being told without a single word that it doesn't get to own the person carrying it. Somewhere, right now, someone is walking through exactly that, carrying something heavy enough to justify collapsing, and still choosing not to. Not because the weight got lighter, because somewhere along the way, they stopped waiting for permission to be okay. They stopped needing the storm to end before they'd allow themselves a single unclenched breath. This is what nobody prepares anyone for. The storm doesn't end on a schedule. It doesn't end because someone finally deserved a break. It ends when it ends, and life rarely checks in to ask if the timing works. So the only real leverage anyone ever has isn't over the storm itself. It's over what the storm gets to take. It can take comfort. It can take certainty. It can take the version of life someone had planned. But it cannot take who someone decides to be, unless they hand that over too. And most people, without realizing it, hand over exactly that, piece by piece, every time they let the weight decide their mood, their worth, their whole identity. The ones who come out of a storm different, not broken, not hardened into someone unrecognizable, but different in a way that looks almost like peace, figured out something early. The smile was never for anyone watching. It wasn't a performance, and it wasn't strength in disguise. It was a quiet, private message aimed only at the weight itself. Stay as long as it needs to. It doesn't get to run this. It doesn't get to decide who's underneath it. That's the whole difference between surviving a storm and being owned by one. Survival still bends. Ownership breaks. And the line between them isn't found in how heavy the weight is. Some of the heaviest weights are carried by the softest smiles. The line is found in one quiet decision, made and remade every single day. Who holds the pen on the story? The storm, or the one walking through it? Because the road was never going to be clear. It never is for anyone. But somewhere inside every storm is a version of a person waiting to be chosen. Steadier, quieter, harder to shake. Not because the weight disappeared, but because it finally stopped being the one in charge.